Good morning. Good morning. Welcome or welcome back to Bookeemonsters. My name is PK. It is Thursday, August the 22nd, and we are here to look at new releases that are being set free this week, and we look at them by genre. On Mondays, we looked at cozy mysteries. On Tuesdays, it's mysteries and thrillers. On Wednesdays, it's romance. Today, Thursday, we are looking at fantasy and science fiction. Tomorrow, we'll be looking at whatever I want to look at, which Freeform Friday, which is leftovers from both Monday and Tuesday because there were a lot of them. Hope you had a good night. Quick announcements. I do have sprints tonight at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, 8 p.m. Eastern. I do them 3 times a week. I do them every Tuesday and Thursday evenings at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, 8 p.m. Eastern. They go for 2.5 hours. And on Saturday afternoon at 1 p.m. Mountain Time, 3 p.m. Eastern. And that one goes for 5 hours. Are you ready to jump in? First book up is Asunder by Kirsten Hall. We choose our own gods here. Karis Eska is a death speaker locked into an irrevocable compact with Sebaster, a terrifying eldritch being, three-faced, 100-winged, unforgiving, who has granted her the ability to communicate with the newly departed. She pays the rent by using her abilities to investigate suspicious deaths around the troubled city she calls home. When a job goes sideways and connects her to a dying stranger with some very dangerous secrets, her entire world is upended. Lorraine is willing to pay a ludicrous sum of money for her help. To save him, Karis inadvertently binds him to her shadow, an act that may doom them both. If they want to survive, they will need to learn to trust one another. Together, they must journey to the heart of a fated empire, all the while haunted by arcane horrors and the unquiet ghosts of their past. And all too soon, Karis knows her debts will come due. That seems very dark. Good morning, Elena. How you doing? You are great. Awesome. Good to hear it. I am also pretty good. Black Heart Man by Nalo Hopkinson. Big name in fantasy. Vekosi, in training as a griot, an historian and musician, hopes to sail off to examine the rare Alamat Book of Light and thus secure a spot for himself on Jinjin's Colloquium of Scholars. However, unexpected events prevent that from happening. 15 Yemesan galleons arrive in the harbor to force a trade agreement on Jinjin. Vekosi tries to help, hoping to prove himself with a bold move, but quickly finds himself in way over his head. Bad turns to worse when malign forces start stirring. Pickens, children, are disappearing, and an ancient invading army, long frozen into peach, tar, statues by island witches, is stirring to life, led by the fearsome demon known as the Blackheart Man. Vekosi has problems in his polyamorphous personal life, too. How much trouble can a poor student take? Or cause all by himself, as the line between myth and history blends in this delightfully sly tale by one of the greatest novelists. Good morning, Mary. Happy Thursday. Cool here this morning. 49. Next week we get 95. Seesaw. Indeed. Good morning, Storm. How you doing? Good to be here. Actually, up early enough to catch this. Well, good morning. Welcome, welcome. My Salty Mary by Cynthia Hand, Brody Ashton, and Jody Meadows. Part of the Lady Janie's books. This is categorized as teen and young adult pirate action and adventure. Perfect for fans of The Princess Bride and A Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue. Don't call this mermaid little, call her captain unless you want to walk the plank. Mary is in love with the so-called Prince of Charlestown, except he doesn't love her back. which is inconvenient. Since she's a mermaid, being brokenhearted means she'll poof turn into sea foam. But instead, Mary finds herself pulled out of the sea and up onto a pirate ship. To survive, she joins them, but Mary isn't willing to just sing the yo ho ho's. She wants the pirate life, all of it, and she's ready to make a splash by becoming captain. But when Blackbeard dies suddenly, Mary has a chance to become so much more pirate king or queen. She won't let anyone stop her, not Blackbeard's cute son, not her best friend from back under the sea who's having a bit too much fun with his new legs, and certainly not everyone who says she can't be a pirate just because she's a girl. She may not be the best man for the job, but she'll definitely prove that she's worth her salt. That might be a good choice if you want to celebrate Talking Like a Pirate Day, which is next month in September. Not everybody celebrates it. Lena said hello to both Mary and Stormy. All right. Next up, Rise and Divine by Lana Harper, fifth in the Witches of Thistlegrove. Even a family of chaotic necromancers, Dasha Avramov has always been an outlier. An event planner at the Arcane Emporium occult megastore, Dasha is also a devil eater, a rare necromantic witch with an affinity for banishing demons and traversing the veil, the boundary between this realm and the next. Still grieving the loss of both beloved parents years ago and plagued by a dangerous obsession with the world beyond the veil, Dasha is fiery yet guarded, an expert at dodging commitment. Her worst regret is a devastating breakup with the wise, empathetic, and sensual Ivy Thorne, her event planning counterpart at Honey Cake Orchards, and probably the love of Dasha's life. Dasha has managed to break Ivy's heart not once, but twice, so things are more than a little tense between them. When they're thrown together to plan the Cavalcade, a month-long festival celebrating Thistlegrove's ceremonial founding with dazzling spectacles held by the town's witch families, Dasha hopes that the third time might be the charm, while Ivy refuses to let herself be hurt again. As they confront the pain and passion lingering between them, Dasha and Ivy must also stand against an otherworldly threat unlike anything Thistlegrove has faced before. End of row one. The Last Witch in Edinburgh by Mariel Thompson. Sorry, copy was required. In an alternate Edinburgh in 1824, every woman lives in fear that she will be the next one hanged for witchcraft. All it takes is invoking the anger or the desire of the wrong person. Nellie Duncan, beautiful and unwed, keeps to herself until she encounters the Ray woman's apothecary. There, fiery Jean Ray and or maybe it's Jean Ray, we'll find out, I guess, and the other woman provide cures and teach others that they too can aid the winter deity, that's going to be a Scottish word, Kali, Kaylee, embracing her characteristic independence, agency, and craft, in turn becoming witches themselves. Nellie finds a place and a purpose at the shop and a blossoming romance with Jean as she learns about nature-based craft and a witch's ability to return to life after death. But the Caliph has an ancient enemy, it's pronounced Smith, intent on stripping the powers of the deity and all her witches, leaving a wake of patriarchal violence and destruction. When heartbreaking disaster strikes, Nellie flees and spends the next 2 centuries hiding from the world. That's a long time. Until love gives her the courage and the motivation to come back. Nellie's past is waiting for her there, and hanging witches is no longer the only means of oppression. But this time, Nellie refuses to run, either from her foes or from her resolve to awaken others to the unimaginable power that can come with fighting the patriarchy in its many forms and finding one's own magical inner strength. Blah, blah. Wisteria. Third in the Belladonna series. Oh, yeah. Well, I should have recognized the cover style. This is by Adeline Grace. Blythe Hawthorne has never let anyone tell her what to do. Not society, not her overprotective father, and certainly not the man she's bound herself to no matter how rude and insufferable he is. In fact, she's determined to be a thorn in his side for the rest of her days, even as he ensures that her life in his palace is anything but a fairy tale. But as Blythe discovers a new side of herself linked to his past, she'll have to decide if she's willing to let an unexpected spark ignite and to discover the truth about who she really is. Not much of a plot there, but uh, this is the first book in the series, Belladonna, although I've seen a different cover. It was making the rounds in the young booktubers. Raymond Feist has a new one. This is a new one. I did check this one. The Darkness Returns, Book 1 of the Dragon War Saga. As worlds collide, dot, 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 dot. Hattusili, Hattusili, last scion of the Firemane dynasty, his beloved Hava and their dubious friend Dante have been transported across space and time from their war-torn world of Garn to the relative peace of Midkemia. There on Sorcerer's Isle, under the guidance of the great magician Magnus and his reincarnated father Pug, Hatu will explore and expand his unique magical abilities, for if Garn is to be saved, they will be needed. With the evil Pride Lords defeated, the Church of the One has ridden to bring death and destruction to Hatu's home world. The kingdom of Ilkumen has fallen, and now the Church is sending forces to Markansas, where Dalen Dumark, hey, it's early and I'm doing these words, has declared himself king, and Master Swordsmith Declan Smith finds himself suddenly raised to the status of prince and war commander. But there are even greater menaces than the Church of the One waiting in the wings, beings from the void, creatures born of darkness. Dot, 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 dot. Interesting cover. Bad Witches. Bad. By H.B. Akumaya. Yeah, rare occurrence. I'm not up closer to 8. I'm up at 5. Why does it say unabridged? That's weird. For paperback, not an audio. Anywho, Bad Witches. The witch sphere is in turmoil. In the years since a stunning betrayal sent shockwaves through society, the sphere was hit with a crisis. Witches are giving birth to more typics, non-witches, and their numbers are diminishing. Nadia is determined to help, but finds her efforts at the Witch Health Organization entangled with the political machinations of her powerful mother. A public relations assistant, a teacher, and a former child star walk into a bar bathroom, which sounds like a joke, on what happens to be all of their 22nd birthday, and like many 20-somethings, become fast tipsy friends. I guess that's a thing. But unlike most 20-somethings, their night of partying ends with an accidental act of magic, as it does. Suddenly, Maya, Gabby, and Dalali find themselves thrust into a world of spells and potions with only a mysterious mentor as a guide. As the girls learn to harness their new power, Nadia starts to notice spikes in the magic baseline and suspects an unknown cadre of witches may be the key to solving the Typic crisis. Can this unlikely coven come together and save the sphere, or are there dark forces at play? Either way, these bad witches are going to find a way to have some fun. Who cares about saving the world? Let's just have fun. That's the end of that row. Elven House of Ivy, first in the realms of Alicitry. I do like that cover. A misfit band of allies, a threat of twisted magic. Their secrets could destroy them if their enemies don't get them first. Ivy can never rest. Seekers hunt her day and night, drawn to the magical seed she carries around her neck. Separated not just from her family, but from her elven house, Ivy trusts no one. Orion is the trusted captain of the guard in a bustling human city. When seekers descend, wreaking havoc, he traces the cause of the attack to one unwelcome elf, Ivy. A dangerous game of cat and mouse ensues with Ivy blindly running and Orion determined to stop her from destroying anything else. But when Ivy comes under a surprise attack, it's Orion who saves her. Forming an unlikely alliance to uncover the truth about the unsettling events happening in their realm, Ivy and Orion band together along with a spoiled pocket dragon, a clever gnome, a childhood elven friend, and a sassy orc. With time running out and threats forming on every side, Ivy must reveal the ugly lies she's been protecting or risk letting humans and elves die at each other's hands. And Orion has dark secrets of his own, ones that Ivy will despise, but can he figure out who to trust before it's too late? He's going to be a prince. You know it. Hearts will break, family alliances shatter, and an ancient magic will demand justice in blood and tears. Dive into the world of Trinth if you love rotating POV, blah, blah, blah. Makes you want to gather up all the old classic books that, had epic journeys. That's just me. I sometimes think authors forget we have to try and pronounce these names sometimes. And these poor audiobook performers, man. Lots of witches today in our new books. We're getting closer to Halloween. We're going to be witchified. Josephine's Tear, or it could be Tear. We don't know yet. First in the Crimson and Shadows series. Oh, I'm out. Vampires. Sophie Devereaux embarks on a perilous quest to obtain an enchanted amulet with the power to eradicate the supernatural forces that hold humanity captive. As she navigates through a landscape of danger and intrigue, she must confront her deepest fears, make unthinkable sacrifices, and ultimately decide the fate of not only her people, but also the supernatural beings that coexist with them, risking her own humanity as she does, with a unique blend of romance, action, and paranormal, blah, blah, blah. But I'm saying it says up here, a world dominated by vampires, threatened by malevolent witches. Good thing we don't have a drinking game about witches, because, man, we'd be three sheets. And the last one we have for today in the world of fantasy and science fiction. Not a whole lot of science, actually, no science fiction. Sad. The Dragon in Winter by Jonathan Mayberry. I also like this cover. Third in the Kagan the Damned series. War is coming. War is here. The Witch King of Hakia, aided by terrifying dark forces, sits uneasy on his stolen throne. His enemies, led by Kagan the Damned and the Bloody Bastards, have found the secrets of ancient magic they hope will defeat him. Strange forces gather on both sides, vast armies of both the living and the dead, devious trickster spirits, strange gods, warrior ghosts, undying vampires. I'm out. Blood plagues that drive people to murderous rage, immortal fairies, and Earth's last dragon. Kate, well, you gotta say that's epic though, but no, there's vampires. I'm out. Kagan knows that he faces the impossible task of toppling a usurper whose dark magic conquered an empire in a single night. But the damned fear nothing, and there are no limits to what Kagan will do to destroy the Witch King. With his allies, he will tear apart the veils that separate our world from the infinite realms of supernatural magic. The Witch King will not go down with a fight, without a fight. And he is willing to drown the Western lands in innocent blood to retain his stolen crown, even if he rules over an empire of dust and blood. Mud. Okay. His power is growing, and soon he will be unstoppable. I'm sorry, it's my brain. But there are not the only forces at work in the world. Magic of all kinds is magic is awakening. Okay. And who can tell which side they will pick, or if they will pose a new and terrible threat to all! Exclamation point. In the frozen north, the last dragon, tortured, captive, dying, cries out in despair. In the inky vastness of the outer dark, that cry is heard! Exclamation point. And something of incalculable power is coming in answer. I'm coming! Hang on. And that is all, thank goodness, all we have. Although sadly, like I say, there was no science fiction in there. That's okay. All righty. Will you tell us why you're so I just don't find them attractive. I don't know. They're not romantic. I just don't like them. You think? But I accidentally read Discovery of Witches back when it came out. What was it, 2011? Because it was about witches, and then the damn vampire showed up, and I like the trilogy. So I suppose it has to be a special vampire. But I don't know. They're just not my jam. But that's okay. For some people, they are the jam, and there's books out there for that, and that's fantastic. All righty. Well, tomorrow is Freeform Friday, but we'll be looking at more cozies and mysteries and thrillers because there were a lot of them this week. So that pretty much is going to fill up the program tomorrow. I do have sprints tonight at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, 8 p.m. Eastern. They go for 2.5 hours. Bring your own book if you want to work on a project, be creative, or just close your eyes after a day. That is okay. That's quite all right. I'm more of a werewolf girly myself, but doing Vamp Timber with I saw that. You're a good sport. There's both. I mean, and I also like the Dresden Files books. I'm only in the beginning stages, but I've known about them for decades, and I read the first one many a long time ago. They're just not my thing. I don't think they're sexy. I don't like orcs really either. Elves are okay. And I love fantasy, but I like humans in fantasy. And just same like with space. I don't like aliens, but I like humans in space. I'm weird. Sorry. All right. Have a very good day. Hope to see you later. Bring a friend. We would love to hit 300. I'm two away last time I looked. Bring a buddy. Have them say like and subscribe and blah, blah, blah. But, don't twist their arm or hurt them or anything like that. That's okay. Hope to see you later. Have a good day. And as the banner says here, don't be a bookworm, be a bookie monster. Nom nom nom. Have a good day and God bless.